contrary to public opinion, and I mean like public opinion in the media, because public opinion is very pro-Israel, the media seem to believe that the best move for Joe Biden on Israel, politically speaking, would be to side with Hamas. I don't even see how that applies. It's ridiculous to me. Is the idea that he is suddenly going to uptick in Michigan by like 10 points if suddenly he sides with Hamas? It's not going to happen. He is down 10 points in Michigan. Why? Because he is deeply unpopular. You know what actually is kind of popular in the United States, as it turns out? Israel. According to a brand new Wall Street Journal poll, it finds that 55% of those polled say they believe Israel is taking the military action needed to defend itself and prevent another attack by Hamas. Only 25% of respondents say Israel's military action is disproportionate and going too far. 42% of voters say they sympathize more with Israelis compared with just 12% who said the same of Palestinians. Joe Biden's marks for his response to the war remain at 37%. Why? Because his approval rating is at 37%. You could literally say, do you approve of Joe Biden's policy on toilet paper? Everyone's just going to go 37% yes. It's as simple as that. When you have a 37% approval rating, it is very difficult to exceed that rating on any particular issue. Very, very difficult to do that. But the media have been attempting to push this idea that if Joe Biden suddenly flipped on the Israel versus Hamas war, suddenly his numbers would uptick. Actually, it's the opposite. If security is restored in the Middle East and it is not a headline by the time we hit election season, that's going to redound to Biden's benefit. He's going to look like somebody who allowed Israel to destroy Hamas and reestablish deterrence in the region. That's going to be the actual outcome. But if he allows Israel to be victimized again by Hamas or by Hezbollah up in the north, which, by the way, is going to be the next step, Israel cannot, it's got 30,000 citizens, Israel, in the north of its country who are not living in their homes right now. Israel cannot allow those people to go back to their homes until Hezbollah is pushed off the border. There's now a large-scale push by Israel and, by the way, France, other members of the international community, to push Hezbollah, an active terrorist group, out of southern Lebanon, about 30 miles up toward Beirut. The Lebanese government, some members of the Lebanese government, which is dominated by Hezbollah, even they are saying, maybe Hezbollah should pull back, or the IDF might be marching through Beirut in the next couple of months. But again, one of the things that is amazing is the breakdown, the partisan breakdown here. So, do you sympathize more with the Israeli or Palestinians? Democrats, 17% Israeli, 24% Palestinian. That's an amazing statistic. How you sympathize more with the group of people who have elected Hamas and the Palestinian Authority, and who by polling data support October 7th by leaps and bounds over, the democratic country that has human rights involved with it? That's an amazing thing. 48% say both sides equally, which is a way of saying I don't want to answer the question. For Republicans, the answer is 69% Israel, 2% Palestinians, 17% both equally. For independents, 35% say Israel, 11% say the Palestinians. Even among young people, a plurality, 31% say they support Israel over 23% for the Palestinians. Undecided voters are the most likely to say that the U.S. is doing too much for the Israeli government and too little for Palestinians. But again, this notion that somehow Joe Biden is going to win additional votes if he suddenly flips and sides with Hamas is ridiculous. I think Biden knows that. So he, weirdly enough, maybe it's because Biden is out of it, but he actually is not too online. When he allows his team to be too online, it's very bad for him. He's actually not been too online on this particular issue. So yesterday at the holiday party, he suggested openly that he was a Zionist, which it turns out, I know that Zionist is code for Jew for a lot of people who hate Jews. Turns out there are a lot of people who are Zionists who are not Jewish. Namely, anyone who believes that Israel has a right to exist as a Jewish state is a Zionist. That would include Joe Biden.
That's the warmth and kinship I feel so deeply with the Jewish community. I got in trouble, got criticized very badly by the southern part of my state and some of the southern parts of the country when 35 years ago I said, you don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist, and I'm a Zionist. You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist.
Okay, he is correct about all of that. Everything's not kosher. It's a brand new show that we put out on YouTube with Brett Cooper this past weekend. Well, I mean, if you have seen this video, you will have seen that Chef Jeffrey actually made me eat tongue and chicken liver, and it was horrifying. So we had to fire those producers, and now we're looking for new producers at ZipRecruiter. If you're a business owner and you need to grow your team, your perfect gift is simple. You want a smart hiring solution. Look no further than ZipRecruiter. Right now, ZipRecruiter is giving it to you for free at ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. Now, you might be asking how ZipRecruiter is a gift to those who are hiring. ZipRecruiter uses smart matching technology to identify the most qualified people for a wide variety of roles. ZipRecruiter lets top candidates know when they are a great match for your job and encourages them to apply. Get your hiring wrapped up quickly with ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter will get a quality candidate within day one. Just go to this exclusive web address right now. Try ZipRecruiter for free. at ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/DAILYWIRE. ZipRecruiter is indeed the smartest way to hire. Go check them out right now. ZipRecruiter.com/dailywire to try them out for free. The Jordanian foreign minister, a person named Ayman al-Safidi, yesterday he gave a speech in which he suggested that Israel was creating hatred around the region. You're right, guys. Until Israel went into Gaza, there was no hatred, which is why on October 7th, the most Jews were slaughtered since the Holocaust. Other than that, nailed it. Also, I got to say, being lectured, the West being lectured about treatment of Israel by the Jordanians is astonishing, especially with regard to treatment of the Palestinians. Just to retrace Jordanian history, Jordan is a creation of the British Mandate. They have no relationship with the people they govern, the Kingdom of Jordan. Not only that, not only are they also a colonial outpost of Israel is, the Jordanian kingdom had sovereignty over the entirety of Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem from 1948 to 1967, and they never once considered the possibility of creating a separate Palestinian state. Weird that. Why? Because they knew that if they did that, it might topple their own dynasty. They also have refused multiple times overtures from Israel to hand over control of some of these areas to the Jordanian government. Why? Because they understand that the Palestinian population in these areas is incredibly radicalized and hates them as much as it hates the Jews. But meanwhile, you got the Jordanian government sitting aside lecturing everybody. It's just like the hypocrisy in the Middle East is truly an amazing thing. Here we go.
Israel has created an amount of hatred that will haunt this region, that will define generations for come, and therefore it's hurting its own people as much as it is hurting everybody else in the region. This is a war that cannot be won.
This is a war that cannot be won. It's going to be won by Israel. And by the way, again, this idea that they're creating hatred, let me show you some tape of a Hamas leader in Gaza. Here is a Hamas leader in Gaza explaining his agenda. I will translate. There are Jews everywhere. We must attack every Jew on the face of the planet. We must slaughter and kill them, God willing. Enough of being angry. We're fed up already. We're ready to explode. And you, the people of the West Bank, how long will you keep silent? They're trying to initiate terrorism there. We want to see knives. They cost 5 shekel. How much is a Jew's throat worth? 5 shekels, or even less, God willing. All of our people are ready to blow up. We've built a new factory for explosive belts. The off-on switch is ready for the moment we enter prison. Which, by the way, is why Israel's stripping them down. Sorry, the fence area. Our sisters are ready. The off-on switch. All our sisters are ready to carry an explosive belt. We'll open up a gateway or two in every camp along the border. And we'll continue to harass Israel until we reach you. This is why lifting the siege is better for you, Israel. Otherwise, you will be killed. By Allah, you will be killed with our explosive belts. We have built new factories for our explosive belts. Operating factories. We'll hand them out to everyone and send them on their way. No water, explosive belts. No to negotiations, no to recognizing Israel. We'll never recognize Israel. Man, it's. I wonder what the context is. For the university presidents, there must be some context that makes this acceptable. After all. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of the mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Fact, where I dismantle and bring truth to this tiring mainstream agenda.